Object-oriented programming is the core programming strategy in Java. Now, as of Java 8, there's also functional programming, and functional programming, as we will see, is quite important. But nevertheless, object-oriented programming, or OOP, has been and always will be the core of Java. So, if you are new to OOP, then this lesson and the next one are by far the most important lessons in the entire video series. So you should go through this lesson and the next one very carefully and very methodically, and make sure that you understand each section before you move on to the next. However, if you come from another object-oriented language such as C++, C#, or Objective-C, then you can just skim these two lessons to see the syntax differences between Java and the language that you're used to. But either way, be sure to do the exercises after you're finished. So once you've completed the lesson, go to courseserverless.com, go to the Java tutorial, download the exercises, try them out, and then compare your solutions to the ones I have posted there. Also, I believe in introducing one small feature at a time rather than throwing a giant example at you and having you try to digest the whole thing at once. So I'm going to add in various features at a time, starting with instance variables, then methods, then constructors, and then more features in the next lesson. I think this is a lot easier to understand, but it also means that some of the early examples are oversimplified and not representative of real-life approaches. In particular, only in the next lesson will we introduce the way to make instance variables private and hook them to the outside world with accessor methods. So in these early examples, I want you to keep in mind that they are overly simplified and that we will update the examples in the next lesson. So in this lesson, we'll first introduce instance variables, then we'll introduce methods, then we'll introduce constructors. All of these are useful, all of these are widely used in real life, but none of these are sufficient by themselves. So in the next lesson, we'll introduce overloading, then the idea of making the instance variables private and hooking them to the outside world with accessor methods. And from that point onward, throughout the rest of the video series, the examples are consistent with real-life styles and real-life approaches. Tomorrow, in the next lesson, we'll also introduce documentation with JavaDoc and inheritance.